Hello. I'm so excited for this live. I shared it with some amazing people, and I expect you guys to be here. So I'm going to wait a little bit. I have this beautiful little candle layer going on now that Mike set up for me. So there's candles everywhere. That's why there's this beautiful candlelit glow. And I'm very, very excited to share. Hi, Karen. I'm very excited to share this with you guys today. It is going to change the way that you look at food, at your body, and as a result, at the way that you can or cannot lose weight, feel healthy, have energy. If you do what I tell you in this live, it will change everything for you. It will get you the results that have been eluding you in terms of finally getting healthy, finally losing weight, being in that dream body of yours, which of course includes how you look and how you feel and how you show up in the world. And if you do this, it will also impact the way that you live your life. So if you've been feeling like you have to deprive yourself in order to enjoy, your health benefits, in order to stay in this body that you've either achieved or you're trying to achieve, to stay thin, to stay fit, to feel energetic, that you have to be like 100% clean all the time and be the one at the restaurant, with all the adjustments to the order, and like your family and friends are there like rolling their eyes, and you feel like this loser that is totally depriving herself and still not seeing the weight loss results. So it's time to change that. It's time to finally shed the weight, get into your dream bikini body, feel amazing, bursting with energy, and also be able to live in this world, which means ordering out sometimes, having junk food sometimes, eating what everyone else is eating, not having to make, adjustments to everything on the menu, or tell your mother-in-law, oh, I can't eat that, or be traveling and not have the croissant or the baguette or any of those things. So I'm going to share my story first and why I'm so passionate about this. So I was born into this body that always had like a little extra weight on it. More than that, I was always, I could never seem to access energy. I was always sluggish, indoorsy. I felt really awkward in my body, really out of place. I got at different points in my life, I had skin issues. I would be anywhere from 40 pounds overweight to 20 pounds and just yo-yo. And then I would get into this body that I loved and feel really great in a bathing suit and be like, oh, this is how I'm supposed to be. And then it would go away. So what happened during those times, especially when I was just like the 20 pounds overweight, which was pretty much a chronic issue, was that I was really, really depriving myself. So I had immersed myself in this field of health and wellness. I had learned the exact ways that, what was good for you, what was not. I became really, really knowledgeable. And I started to eat perfectly. So I found out the exact protocol for my body, my blood type. I was having like a ton of green smoothies and only drinking alkaline water and sticking to this diet 100%. And for whatever reason, I still was not losing weight like I had in the past when I was like eating whatever I wanted, and I couldn't figure it out. What was the pattern there? What was going on with this yo-yoing? And what I came to realize was that when I was filling myself up with these foods, not really enjoying them, really forbidding myself from a whole list of foods, The image of myself that I was holding was one of an overweight person who had to be on diets in order to stay slim or to lose weight. So no matter what I did, no matter what I deprived myself of, no matter how strict I was, sticking to each diet perfectly, the idea was, oh, I'm doing this because my natural weight is overweight. So what manifested, of course, was this image of the overweight girl who I had been for most of my life. I have a little sip of tea. And of course, then there was this really frustrating element going on of not being able to eat what everyone else was eating, looking at, my boyfriend eating the bread or ordering pizza, most of all being with my really ultra thin, glowy, beautiful friends who ate whatever and were able to stay in this shape that was beautiful and still had the glowing skin and the energy and could stay out all night and all of that. And when I decided to try was to incorporate everything that I knew was good with me, that I knew was good for me to eat, like the exact protocol, which intuitively I just pieced together. That's one of my amazing gifts, is knowing exactly what you, and for myself as well, need to be eating to be in the ideal weight, paired with the mindset work. So just like manifesting everything else, you feel it first. So I felt into this skinny little bikini body that I had in the past. I held that with me. I actually would put pictures of myself around in that body, and felt into that like, oh yeah, this is my natural body. And I can eat whatever I want because this is my natural body. So when I travel still, and there's an option to have white bread with butter and a big bowl of pasta, which is not necessarily at all what is part of my typical protocol, I'll order it. And I will be thinner than if I had just been sticking to the exact protocol. Hi, Danny. Hi, Maria. To the exact perfect protocol of foods that I had really stuck to in the past. So everyone is joining now. I don't know what happened. Just 5 minutes late. That's fine. Hello, everyone. And so if you're just hopping on now, you're going to want to watch the replay, because that is where you'll find out my part of the story, and how I live this. But I'm going to talk about what this means for you. So where you're at right now is you have been introduced to this wellness world. You are starting to find out, what things are good for you and not good for you. You probably have not found out specifically for you what is best for your individual body, because that does vary. But you are somewhat woke about nutrition. And for whatever reason, which you haven't figured out yet, you are still not losing weight. So you're feeling super deprived, you're sticking to this diet 100%, and you're not losing weight. So this is what needs to happen for you. First of all, you need to get on the protocol that is specifically for your body so that you get the results. That's what will happen. That's what I show you how to do. And the way that I was able, which I just spoke about in my story, the way that I was able to draw in this image was because I had accessed it before. I had gotten into the exact body that I wanted. I had pictures of it. I had proof of it. And this was how I was able to really embody it. So the first thing that happens when we work together is that you get on a protocol for your body. I see laser focus, specifically what you need to shed the weight, to feel really energized, to feel awesome. In order for that to be sustainable and for you to reach the next level of wellness, you access that. So you feel into that, you feel it all the time, and you know this is your natural body. It's unshakable. And I know for some of you, this is going to be like, how can that even be possible? But it 100% is. You're going to feel it. And so once you access that, you realize this is who I am, no matter what. And you bring that really empowered mindset into every eating experience. So Mike and I were just talking about going back and visiting my family in New York in the spring. And we're like, oh, we're going to have Zeppelis and New York pizza and bagels and all this stuff. And I had this moment of, wow, like myself 10 years ago, or, you know, when I started this wellness journey, or 2 years ago, would have been like, I can't do that. I'm not one of those people that can eat like that and still lose weight and still stay in the shape that I want. But I know going forward, I can do whatever I want because I've accessed this body and I hold this image and I'm in this paradigm where it's unshakable. The other thing that happens once you get into this place where your gut is totally healed, you're totally energized, you are in the body that you're born to be in, is your mind gets super strong. Your mind becomes empowered and healed, and that's so directly related to your gut and your body and how you're feeling, so that you can actually hold this image and hold this place. So it's definitely a paradigm switch. It's not going to happen just by getting on a diet. It's not going to happen just by trying to use manifestation work. Those are two really strong elements of what I do with my clients. And when you sign up with me, you get into this paradigm where all of this is possible for you. So my client Camilla, who I think is here right now, was talking to me the other day after it was 2 sessions. And she was like, I looked at myself in the mirror and I couldn't believe it. My mom can't believe it. I'm glowing. Where did all the weight go? I look super toned and fit. And that's just because we switched up things in her diet that were not working for her. We got her on this protocol, and now she's in this super, super empowered place in her mind. She's seeing things clearly. Right after that, she signed up her client for this high-end coaching program, her first client ever. She just started sharing her gifts, working with me. Got her first client, and people are reaching out to her like crazy. So that's like a side effect of getting into this place. Your energy totally changes. You see with clarity everything that's possible, everything that you desire, and you pair them together and you make that happen. So I'm actually going to hold a little space here for Q&A. I definitely know that this is a new topic to many of you, and it might seem like too good to be true, but I promise you that's how it is supposed to be. It's supposed to be easy. You were born to live in this body that you just feel really hot in, that you feel really energetic in, that you have this idea that you want to look like. And I spoke about it in the description a little bit, that what will happen with so many women, what's like going rampant right now, is a really skewed idea of self-love. And I've experienced it. Being in the spiritual world, I've experienced it where you aren't losing weight. And so hi, Suzanne. You aren't losing weight. You're in this body that you really don't like. It's not what you want to look like. And so you decide to give up, basically. You give up and you call it self-love. So you buy into this whole idea that you're supposed to be these 15 pounds overweight, which you're not. If you know what you're supposed to look like, I always knew in my heart what my ideal body would look like. Mary Ellen just like that. She has seen me in places where I'm like way out of balance with that, which no longer happens. And so don't give up. Don't decide that you're just going to settle and hold on to that extra weight, because that becomes a pattern in other areas. So it's the same thing if you're in this entrepreneur circle, which I know a lot of you are. If you're trying to launch a program, or you're trying to share your gifts and it's been so difficult for you and you're not seeing results, you could just give up and say, oh, I'm being realistic. I'm going to get a job that's more reliable. Or you could just find a better mentor. You can change everything and launch it, and it'll just take off, which, by the way, happens when you get into this place with your mind, body. You're awesome, Mary Ellen. So it's the same thing with your body. It's not time for you to give up. If you haven't lost the weight yet and you're trying everything, it's time to try something new. And that includes totally healing your mind, totally getting into a new paradigm, which is my paradigm, where all of this is possible. And when you're in this new energy place, when you make that leap, when you make the commitment, which is what happens when you get on a call with me and when you sign up, you see things rapidly changing. Like another client called in this soulmate, met her soulmate before our first call. She was another girl who's just like, I don't know where the weight went. I'm suddenly sleeping at night. Like, of course, that's what happens when you get on this protocol, when you're in my energy that supports you into seeing that it's possible, into this paradigm, and you start making these major shifts and leaps in your mind and your consciousness. And it all starts with this. So whatever you are working at, whatever you're trying to change in your life, if you're trying to draw in more abundance, if you want to travel the world, if you want to meet your soulmate, these might seem like big things to you, but it literally all starts with cleaning out the sanctuary, really powering up your body and having the energy and the mindset to make it happen. So I will hold space. Again, I went on another rant. If you have any questions, if you want to know anything about losing weight in this way that's so much easier, anything that I talked about, and basically any kind of intuitive health question that you have, and I will have some tea and wait. Let's see. Any questions? Okay, so no questions right now. If you are one of the people who RSVP'd to this live, and for whatever reason you're not here, definitely watch the replay. Even if you, Maria, you're so sweet. Maria's feeding off of my energy. And hopefully we'll actually be together in person soon, and that'll be even better. If you are watching this replay and you have any questions about how this would specifically look for you, definitely post your question here. Even if you watched this live with me, and it was so lovely to have you here, you're going to want to watch this again and really let it sink in, because it is a totally different way of looking at weight loss. I call it spiritual weight loss. It's a way of looking at yourself, and it completely transforms your health in general. And I just saw a question from Sven. What would you suggest in relation to stop an unhealthy habit? That is a really, really good question. So Sven, I talked about this a little bit in the beginning. Even the wording, like stop an unhealthy habit. So you can, if you feel comfortable, you can post what the specific habit is, and I can get some more intuitive nudges on what specifically for you it has to be. But for any of you, let's say the unhealthy habit is eating junk food. When you tell yourself repeatedly, I have to stop this, it is not going to happen. So when I wanted to eat healthier, when I would tell myself, oh, I just can't do this, naturally my mind would say, no, You're going to do it. And the reason that happens is our mind and our consciousness, our soul, is fundamentally opposed to the negative energy of anything. Even if it's something like smoking, which we know kills us, right? That can lead to death. There are people that live to 100 and smoke, but in general, we know it's much smarter not to. If you in your mind are saying, oh, I have to stop this or I'm going to die, your consciousness doesn't like that. It doesn't work well with that. It doesn't like fear. Your natural frequency is that of love and light, and it doesn't want anything fear related, so it will block it out. What you have to do is get to a place where you're feeling amazing in your body, and that means healing yourself. It really often has so much to do with the gut. But, okay, so Maria says her question was smoking. So you get into this place where you're feeling amazing in your body. That happens with me. That really only happens with me because it's this trifecta of healing. It's energy work. It's an amazing protocol that works like magic for everyone. It's aligning your body. It's the spiritual aspect. So you get on this protocol that feels amazing, and you start to access this alignment, this light within. And from there, you actually only start to crave the things that continue that. But you don't tell yourself, oh, I can't have that. You do exactly what I just said in the beginning. You say, I can do whatever I want because this health that I just accessed, this body that I'm in right now, this is truth. This is my natural body. This is how it is. Just like when I lost weight and I was in that bikini body, when I could draw in the feeling of what that felt like being at my ideal weight, which for me is 115 pounds. If I need to start learning kilos, but being in that natural weight, what that feels like being laying in the sun and being in a bathing suit and just looking down at my belly and being like, oh, yay. And having pictures of that. When I could access that and when I was really this is my natural state, and I told myself I can do whatever I want, it doesn't matter if it was smoking that I was trying to get over or eating pizza every day. From that empowered place of feeling like I can do whatever I want, I will naturally make the choice that continues to manifest those results. Does that make sense? I know this is really new. So Sven and Maria, I don't know if I answered your questions. You can let me know, and of course we can talk about this in person as well. But yes, there is a stage to it. You have to be able to draw in this highest self, this feeling of health that you've accessed in the past. So if you haven't done that yet, you really have to create it first. And then you get into the place that's super empowered, where you're not like, oh, I can't smoke. You're like, I can do whatever I want. And your consciousness will lead you to continue to perpetuate your healthiest self, which is a self that obviously doesn't smoke, at least not cigarettes. So I think that's all for questions. Again, if you're watching the replay and more questions come up, definitely share them with me. I do expect some more questions on here. You can also PM me, and we'll talk about that. But if you are ready to start feeling healthy and you actually don't know what's possible for you in terms of feeling healthy, you might be eating all organic and working out every day, and you might feel like you're doing the healthy thing. Until you've worked with me, you haven't gotten to your potential yet, which means sleeping deeper than ever, not having any pain in your body, any inflammation, losing weight, knowing that you're going to keep it off for the rest of your life as long as you stick to this, and really, really living in this place of total empowerment and freedom. So if you are ready to start feeling that way, you have to sign up for a call with me. We are going to talk about what you need specifically, exactly what you need to start changing in your life so that these results stick forever, and it's intuitive and specific for you. And then you'll get on this program with me where we make these miracles happen. It's a 4-month program right now. You have to be ready to invest on the call, which means that you are going to get results. So it's a decision to put yourself first. It's a decision that it's time. By the way, when you do this, everything else falls into place. So my clients launch their careers, they connect with soulmates, they decide to start traveling the world, they have these amazing experiences and opportunities, just attract to them because they're at this new vibration. Hi, Rebecca. So sign up for a call with me if you're ready to invest, and it's an application for a call. I will just make sure that it's a good fit, and we'll get on the call, and I promise you your life will change. You will step into this new experience of health that you didn't even think was possible. I'm going to answer a few more questions because I see a few came up. Yeah, Maria says that's really interesting. I'll continue to watch these to understand. Yes, so I recommend that. This is totally new information. No one is telling you this. So watch this even a couple times, especially if you just hopped on, and you will start to understand this new paradigm. And of course, that's what happens when you connect with me. You'll step into the paradigm where the results actually happen. Ashley said, what if the time that I was at the healthiest was born out of the lowest time in my life? How do I access that if it was a painful time emotionally to arrive to that health? Okay, that's really, really interesting. So one of the times that I was at the healthiest in my life I was not emotionally healthy, but I was super thin. And Ash, we are obviously talking after this, so we can go into this a little more. But yes, you can access that feeling in your body without deciding that it was attached to or because of being at this low place in your life. So the emotions you're going to want to connect to that. If you want to connect, if that's the body you want to come into again. It can also be pictures from magazines. That's totally fine. You can take out pictures of whatever body that you really connect to from a magazine, or print it out from Instagram and put your face on it. People might think you're crazy, especially if you live with someone, but you'll be the one who's happy and in your bikini body by summer or by the holidays if you work with me. So you want to look at that and remember how that felt. So how you felt waking up in the morning, not the negative thoughts, the energy that you had, the spark that you had, how it felt being in your bathing suit, looking down at your body and being like, wow, I love my body. You don't have to connect that to the other things. And that was actually something that I had done as well. Was awesome. So Ashley says she can channel that. Yeah, and that happens sometimes. For whatever reason, sometimes like a painful emotion will trigger us to start taking better care of our health, which will lead to better weight loss than when we're really happy. When I first met Mike, we were like, I was the most joyous I'd ever been in my life. I still am. But it started with us just eating out all the time, eating all this junk food. So it was actually a balance to come back to this healthy place. So it's not always connected, but you definitely want to know that being in your healthiest self means being your happiest self ever. Healthiest, happiest, hottest. So I'm going to post the application for the call. It is an application, so it's not just a sign up. I really read them in depth. I get a feeling for your energy when I read the application. I'm not like super selective, but you have to be ready to invest, which means you're ready to make this change. You're going to get results. And you want to make sure you're really filling everything out in depth. So sort of like when you're journaling, have your warm beverage, light a candle, and really dive in deep. And that's actually the first part of the transformation. One of my clients said that when she filled out the form, she was like in this trance filling it out, which is awesome. And when you look at it, you can see she was like totally tapped in. So yes, so you will start to dive into exactly what you want in your life, and then we create it through your best health. It is so much fun. It's so joyous. It's going to change everything for you, everything. You were born with this birthright to feel super energized, super joyous, super aligned with the divinity within you, which gives you this clarity of knowing exactly what to do in every moment. And that leads you to the right decision, the right place. It leads you to attracting the things that you want because you feel super worthy of them and super capable and empowered. And it all starts with this. So thank you guys so much for being here. If you're watching the replay, thank you for watching, and sign up for a call with me. That's your next step. Everything will start blossoming just from there. Mwah. Good night. Happy weekend.